everyone.
There you go.
How are you?
I was waiting. I knew I was going to talk over you if I said something.
We were both waiting for each other, but
yeah. See,
that's how polite we are here.
We're a polite and courteous host,
Yes.
right?
That's it.
We hope everybody is doing wonderful tonight. We're glad everybody's here. I see a lot of our usual folks are tuned in to watch us. It's good to see everybody. We have several different things lined up for tonight. We have some news and updates. Anything you want to mention before I go any further, Nico?
No, I think we're ready to. I don't know. Are you going to start with the sponsor, or are we going to go?
Yeah, we're gonna do our sponsor for Split Jaw, and then we'll be right back to go over what we got going on.
Sounds good.
So hang in there, folks. We'll be right back.
The following episode of Large Scale Live is brought to you by Split Jaw, makers of quality metal products for the G-scale modeling world. For rail clamps, expansion joints, bridges, and more, Split Jaw Products has you covered. For more information, visit their website at www.railclamp.com.
And there we have it.
And a word from our sponsor. So, what do we got going on tonight?
Well, let's see. Of course, tonight our guests are Don and Sarah from Star Hobby. We're going to be talking with them and seeing what's going on for the upcoming East Coast large-scale train show, of course. I think you have a few repair tips that you're going to share with everybody.
Yeah, we could get to that towards the end.
We, of course, have a couple giveaways that we're going to do. And to start off here, I guess let's look at the different things we have coming up on the calendar here as usual.
Sounds good.
Just give me one moment here.
You mean you're not ready?
Oh, I'm about as ready as I'm going to get. If that means anything. I don't know if it does. Let's see here. All right. So, as usual, over on our website, we have an event section. And of course, if there's something large-scale train related coming up that we don't have listed, you can always come on here and go to our large-scale event submission. There's a form there. You can turn in the info, and we'll put it up on the calendar for you after we review it. So,
make sure it's real.
And make sure it's real. Make sure it's not Dackman trying to sneak O-gauge stuff onto my calendar or something.
There we go.
So, once again, everything that's up on the site here, if you click into it, there's links to go to the actual sites for these for further info. But, of course, there's the Cincinnati Garden Railway Society has their G-scale swap meet coming up April 1st. No, it's not a joke. Even though it's April 1st. That's actually a pretty nice show. It's held at Entertainment Junction in Westchester Township. If you've ever been to Entertainment, I suggest you check it out. It's probably the largest indoor G-scale display I've ever seen. Of course, our guest tonight, the East Coast Large Scale Train Show will be coming up. That's the 14th and 15th. We have a new large-scale show coming up. First time this year, the Northeast Large-Scale Train Show. That will be in Massachusetts, the same place they hold
the Big E.
The Big E, there we go. That'll be the end of April, the 28th and 29th. We have a Marshall Steam Museum Train Day. This was turned into me by a viewer. That'll be Sunday, May 7th in Yorkland, Delaware. Looks like they're going to have some live steam, large scale going. Looks like some train rides in that.
Cool.
The RLD Hobbies Spring Open House. That's always a good event to go to. Go and hang out, run trains with everybody. As usual, his layout is battery or live steam. He doesn't have track power. You can bring your
time today. Oops, sorry.
No, go right ahead.
I was gonna say I went for the first time to that in fall, and Vinny and I both had a great time.
Yeah. You wrecked Vinny's train, right?
Yes,
That's okay. I left mine parked
and
on the track.
Jonathan Straczynski's.
Yeah, I left mine parked on the track and went to dinner, and Rocky rear-ended it when I came back. That was my bad for parking on the main. So after that, let's see. Of course, that's
Yep.
May 19th and 20th. What's that, Nico?
No, I was gonna say, did you say the date?
Yep. No, that's what I just remembered.
Yep.
After that, coming up June 3rd here in Ohio, in Warren. This is over near me, is the Northeast Ohio Large Scale Train Show. This will be I believe this is the third year now that it'll be going on. Of course, you came up for it last year.
Yeah, we had a good time there too.
You got in a car accident on the way home.
Yeah, we lost the car and some trains on the way home. That was a fun time.
So
4 months of therapy on my back. That was good. Yeah.
Well, you got to mix it up sometimes, right?
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Okay. Of course, as well, the Big Train Operators Convention is coming up. And as I've said before in the past, I like to make sure I specify that you do have to be a member of the Big Train Operators Club to attend their convention, but their yearly membership fee is really, really reasonable. That'll be taking place in Bird in Hand, PA, June 18th through the 24th. This one here, I came across the other day. It is the Midwest Garden Railroad Gathering, and that's going to be June 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th this year.
Wow.
And it looks like they're going to have layout tours. They're going to have some social gatherings, some clinics. I think there's some train rides involved. Looks like it actually might be a really fun event. I think it's the first time that that's taken place. And then, of course, the 38th National Garden Railway Convention is July 1st through the 8th. And that's going to be, that's the Bay Area Garden Railway Society is hosting it this year, correct, Nico?
Yes.
Yeah. So that will be out in sunny California. All right. So
Do you want to go over, before we bring in our guests, do you want to go over the chat issue? Not the issue, but people that have issues with the chat, just so they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So let me get rid of that screen there real quick. So yeah, when you get into the live chat for our show, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook, those of you that are in the live chat already don't have to worry about it. But some people that aren't familiar with YouTube or Facebook, especially if you've gone to the link to the Large Scale Trains website and you're watching it there, it's not super evident, although I did update with a link there to send you over to YouTube. For YouTube and Facebook, I have it set up to try and keep spam out of the chat because, believe me, there's all kinds of nonsense that will show up in the chat if I don't. But on YouTube, obviously you got to be signed in
To YouTube.
And to sign into YouTube is simply, you got to have a Gmail account, which is free. Most people probably have it. If you got an Android phone, I'm sure you definitely have one. But you have to sign in. And the other thing is you do have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. And that requirement is to try and keep all the spam. No, Andrew, not spam and eggs. I don't think I've ever tried that. But that requirement is to keep the spam out of the chat. It's free to subscribe to my channel. Obviously, it's free to sign into YouTube. If you're over on Facebook, you're probably already signed into Facebook, obviously. You do have to be a follower of the MrPictovid Facebook page to participate in the chat over there. Again, it's just to keep the spam out of the chat. So That's my little explanation on that. I'm hoping that helps some people. If you happen to be one of those rare people that are getting some weird thing where it says you can't get in the chat because it's made for kids content, that's something that's plagued several channels for a while. You simply on YouTube have to unsubscribe from my channel and then resubscribe, and you'll be good.
It's kind of like rebooting a computer.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
So
let's ready to bring in our guests.
Yep, we are. So with that said, here are our guests, Dawn and Sarah from Star Hobby.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I need somebody to talk to besides Nico, you know.
Well, I mean, Don and I kind of look the same. I mean, really...
a little more gray.
Oh, hang on. Let's move this around. There we go. Yeah, I guess so.
Side by side.
So, I guess we'll start off the conversation. First, let's start with Star Hobby. How did Star Hobby come about? And then I guess we'll lead into how you guys became involved in the East Coast show and maybe a little bit of history of the East Coast show.
Yeah, sure. So Star Hobby started back in 1986. Parents were just doing all the train shows all over the place. Back then, shows were pretty much every weekend, starting from like September until April. And those days, as people probably remember, firehouses and churches and malls and small places, Towson at the gym, Odenton for people local around here at the firehouse, or up in New Jersey, up in the mall and places like that, racetracks. Used to do them all over the place. And then we opened the first store in 1989, right there on Ritchie Highway in Arnold. And then we expanded, had to move after a couple of years and expanded to a place further down the road. We're there for about 7 years at that location, and then moved to the facility that we're at now since 2000.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. So we really started in the show business, train show business, and then mail order with that, and then decided to open a store afterwards.
Okay, so you start basically. Your father started selling used stuff, and then then kind of grew the business from there.
Yeah.
So then, what brought you guys into the East Coast show?
When Lewis was running and everything, and they were looking for Lewis was going to get out of the shows and stuff like that, and he talked to Harry,
right,
who was running after. I can't remember his name. And Harry was looking for a partner, so we partnered up with Harry, and we ran it with Harry for several years before he got sick, and then we just took it over completely.
Okay. And that's going back up. When was the first one? 1990.
99.
99. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was in
97, but I knew
Atlantic City. Atlantic City was the very first one, and there were a lot of lessons learned at that show.
Then it moved to Somerset, and then from there it moved to York.
Correct.
Yep. And then you guys did 1 year at Timonium, and then now at the new location in Annapolis.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And I have to say, had the show in Timonium actually been able to happen, that would have been a really nice show.
We thought so.
I was there. I thought it was set up really nice, and it's just the circumstances,
Yeah. And it was great to have that big side for all the layouts who could expand and stretch their legs. That was nice. And the dealers right there in the middle. We, thought it was a good move. Just York was kind of like changing things up. And there was, I don't know if everybody remembers, we had several Easter weekends that they wouldn't allow us to move. And then they started moving us how they felt they could move us. And we just felt like that wasn't right. Not for long-term vendors like us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so you guys were having scheduling issues, and so some of the people don't understand that there's a lot going on behind the scenes of a show. and you have issues which
Right.
sometimes you can't overcome, and you have to move. It's not whether you want to, you just have to.
Right. And the rates are changing and things like that. And we just thought for a lot of people who are coming from the north, actually, it was probably easier right down 95 to Baltimore off the Beltway. Just thought it was a great location coming from the south, east, or west. Some of the guys from maybe like coming the back ways of the Midwest, maybe it was maybe a little bit longer, but honestly, from door to door, it was only like a 45-minute difference further south. Better selection of hotels and not what we believe with higher prices for hotels and selection of food choices and restaurants and things like that. So
yeah. So now we're at the new location in Annapolis.
yeah. So this technically would be the third year at this location.
Correct.
We didn't want to miss a year, and we threw something together really quick. We had a small crowd, small vendors, but what we got from a lot of people was like, thanks for having it.
In 2020.
In 2020, sorry. Yep, in 2020. Yeah. And it was good. People wanted to see each other. We had some people come down from New England, New York, Florida, from down south, Carolinas. So those were the people who wanted to get together and meet up at somewhere and talk about trains and see what was out there. And we were fortunate enough to find enough vendors quickly that did something like, yes, we want to promote it. And then last year was a good show. Turnout was better. More vendors were starting to come out because we're even still finding a lot of vendors are still reluctant to come out to shows. Or they don't have the inventory.
Yeah, inventory can be a problem. That's for sure.
Well, last year you had more displays also, which was good.
Right.
Yeah, you had more of the clubs there, which.
Right. And it was nice to have the live stream guys out front. And they said they had a good time being out there. And there was a lot of people just driving by and saw it and were interested and came out and talked to those guys. So we're excited about that.
So they'll be there again this year?
Yes. I believe so.
Let's talk about the upcoming show. So what do you guys have planned for 2023?
Pretty much the same as last year. Again, the vendors, as anybody knows who does shows, they're always trying to, wait till the last minute to tell you things or how much space they want or changing things around. But for the most part, it's going to be, I think, 2 of the clubs, maybe a third, and then the outside live stream.
That's
some people.
That's the Aikenbeck, right?
I believe so. Mm-hmm. And then I know some of the dealers who do our show will also be at the upcoming show up in Springfield. So, we need more shows. We've been doing shows for a long time where even on a regular train circuits that, there's less and less vendors or less train shows, period. So even when you do have a show that normally are 3 times a year, we're seeing down to 2 or 1 time a year. So shows in general are just down, period.
Yep. Attendance has been down, it seems, too.
Yes. Right.
I also do train shows and sell used stuff. So I've definitely noticed the attendance is a lot lower.
Right.
So.
Right. But for our show, we're excited, and just want the show to keep going. So as we always said to people when they come and they ask us, what about returning to a big venue? We would love to have a big venue if and when it's possible. So right now, we just want to keep the show going. And I think having a show, period, is a testament to trying to keep the hobby going. I'm excited for this year. We've got the -9s out now. We've got some Evan stuff. We got, so there's some nice things to kind of get people motivated again. Motor block replacements for a lot of people. I think it's the small stuff that we have to start seeing that will help generate the bigger stuff.
So you said the -9s you have in stock?
We do have several in stock. Yep.
You got three tractor trailers, right?
Yeah. And I wish. Yeah. No, there's only about 3 pallets, but
3 pallets is quite a lot of trains.
They're bulky. So
and then
we brought in some extra stuff, some skeleton log cars, just things to generate for the show. We've gotten fortunate enough to have some collections come in to help, entice people to want to come to the show. And I'm sure the other dealers will have things also.
So are you going to have the collections at the show, or are you going to still have them at your store?
We'll probably just keep it at the store instead of moving it twice and taking space away from the layouts and the and the vendors, because it is a smaller venue. We know that.
Yeah.
Same location as last year, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And for anyone that hasn't been there, like the show's here, and like the other corner is like right here is your store.
Right.
So it's not like they got to travel down the street. It's like a 15-second walk.
Right. Right.
And then you said Evans cars are coming in. When are they coming in?
We understand that they should be in within another 2 weeks or so.
Oh, cool.
So that's exciting because we were checking on that also.
And those are the ones with the Fred on them, correct?
They will be the ones with, yeah.
Just so people know.
At least it's better than nothing, or you'll have some spares if you get several of them.
I think that was a neat addition they made to the cars. I mean, I think people will enjoy that.
Yeah. And we were fortunate we had some customers come in, we had some from the collection, some of the older Dash 9s, and they were able to put them side by side and feel them and quality. And I think they were impressed with the Bachmann Dash 9s side by side with it was a Santa Fe Dash 9 that they put side by side with it. And I think they were pretty pleased with what they saw and felt.
Yeah.
So,
and for anybody wondering, our show next month, Nico and I will go a lot more in depth on the new Dash 9s, because by then both of us should have ours, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I know people are going to start asking questions about it, and I don't want to get people all riled up about Dash 9s.
Well, you could also say who the guest is for next month.
I think there was a nice video shot with the one we had up on our test tracker, showing some of the lighting features and some of the finer detail.
Yeah. So, I saw that. That was really nice. And
for some people who haven't seen the prototypes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you look in the description of the video, anyone that wants to see that, if you don't know how to get to Star Hobby's Facebook page, I've got a link in there. And that was a really nice video that you guys put up showing it running on the test rollers.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that did very good justice of it.
Somebody said they don't think that any other retailer has their Dash 9s yet except Star Hobby.
I don't know. Don's probably greasing somebody's palm or something. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I am making a joke.
Well, it's funny because a lot of times we're usually the last ones to get them, or I always feel that way. But I think this time we were fortunate enough to get them before some of the other people. So.
Yeah, and, I saw the picture of the skids out front. I was like, good God, that's a lot of Dash 9s.
Yes. We have more coming, but
I like this here customer, aka George Pokmus Jr. And George says, "I have a new alias." But actually, that does make me wonder, though. I have to ask because I saw a comment online, and I know the old Jim Vchek discount always used to double your price instead of discounting it. Does the new Pokmus discount do the same thing?
Yeah, we offer them on the 32nd of every month.
I remember the very first time I met your dad. He was actually at it's the Berea show that happens over here in Ohio in the fall.
Right.
And I'd always see Jim online posting pictures from the store and mentioning his discount. And I asked it completely in a funny way, but I remember I asked your dad, I'm like, so what's with this Jim Vchek discount? And I just remember he looked at me, just kind of sighed, and he goes, I told him to quit telling people.
Yeah. The Jimmy Vchek discount. Yep. Yeah. Make sure you ask for it.
Everybody's heard of that. And it's funny when someone mentions it because people will go, every time I try to use it, it triples the price of my order.
Yeah, I would do that online if I were you guys. I would, put a Jim Vchek and then have it like double the price.
Right.
Promo code Jim Vchek.
Big Guy said the 75% off is on February 31st. No, I always enjoyed when Jim used to come in there all the time and take all the pictures and that, and George is doing that now.
Yeah.
It's it's got to be difficult to get all that stuff up and listed, and it takes time. It's not like you got 50 employees there.
No, and everybody thinks all stores have a lot of employees. Even like for you guys putting this on, they probably think you have several people helping you, and really when you look behind the scenes, right? It's not. It's two people. It's one person. It's three. And for us, our hobby, it's and to do the show, it's three of us doing it, and from A to Z, coordinating the hotels, the vendors, the table layouts, or stuff coming into the store for collections, and that usually takes time to sort it, check it, know the questions when they get asked. It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize there's not many of us in the store.
You got phone calls coming in. You got people walking into the store. You never know when people are going to walk in, and then you got to stop what you're doing and help customers for 3 hours. And before you know it, it's the end of the day, and you're like, I didn't get anything done.
Right.
I mean, I remember stopping at the store. It would have been the day after the Timonian show. And I remember you had the trucks pulled up because you were having to load everything back in the store. And to see that, you don't think about it, but that's a lot of effort just to load stuff up and go to a show, take it back.
Right.
I mean, it's not something that just happens overnight.
Right. Especially on, especially weekend shows and not conventions, there at least 3 or 5 days. It's you load everything in, you unload it. Usually for most people who do shows, even small ones, you get there the day of, even our show, you see the vendors, you come in that day, you unload and set up, and then you're ready to start the next day, and you're there for 2 days, you tear it down, you reload it, and then you drive home. It's a lot of work, right?
A lot of talking, a
lot of talking,
a lot of standing. Exhausting after 2 days. I mean, it really is.
Right. Yeah. It is a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, and when you talk about that, so if some viewers remember us from way back when, from even the 80s and 90s, when the shows were incredible and the conventions were awesome, you could find us in San Diego, Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine, Texas, Florida, Orlando show. Those conventions when they used to have them all over the country. From the NMRAs to the G-Gauge conventions, we were there. So we've been supporting the hobby for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised with, back when I met your dad up here, I didn't realize he was driving all the way from over your way to come over here to this show. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty good distance. I mean, obviously we're nuts. We travel that distance to come to a show. But,
right. Well, dad's a driver. He'll, so we used to leave at, I think, like 5 in the morning to get up there. Because setup wasn't for that show, for the Bria show, until 2. So we were going to come up the night before. Dad's always like, we just get up early, drive all the way through. So it was an 8-hour drive, 9-hour drive to get up there and then unload everything and set it up. So that was the Bria show. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's usually cold too when that show's
going
on.
Right. Yep.
That's what I've been to the East Coast show, like fully dressed for 100% winter. And I've been there in shorts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember the one show we got the snowstorm.
Some years it's snowing and other years you're in shorts and a T-shirt.
Right.
And that was in York, but it's always crazy with the weather differences. So you have a hotel set up, right? Like a lot of places, from our vendors and everything else, the hotel was just changing some staff stuff, so they were a little behind in getting back to us. But I don't know if the code is active yet. She was supposed to get it done by last Thursday or Friday, but it is going to be 139 at the Crown Plaza. Yeah.
Which will include breakfast, their big full buffet. So that is included with that rate.
Oh wow.
We stayed there last year. It was good.
Is that up on the website, or is that not updated on there?
I'll have it posted sometime this week once we get the contract back.
Okay.
Signed and
just because I know someone's going to go there and look while we're talking, and they're going to go, I don't see it on the website.
Yeah, not yet. This week.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
So
and Annapolis at this time of year is gorgeous. So not just to see the show, but I think it's a great location. And at that hotel, there's the mall with a bunch of restaurants right by the hotel, downtown Annapolis, and see all the boats out there in the Naval Academy. So I think it's a nice place to come. I mean, we're there for the train show, but there's other things to do before or after, or a day or two before.
Yeah, we had a great time when we were there last year.
We all and Oliver from Germany was there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not you don't just get people from the next state over. You get people from out of the country as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Ivor has always been a
big
Ireland,
right? From Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good guy. Great guy. No, you got sick I think a couple times ago, but
there's the question I knew was going to pop up here, but I'll throw it up there. Bruce Morrill was asking if you have a vendors list yet, which I know you don't, but I figured I'd stick it up there so that
that should be posted here probably by the end of the week. We're hoping, just trying to fill in some of the slots and stuff like that and tying these people down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I did see one other question earlier I was going to go back to, and I lost it. I know the answer, but I figured I'd bring it up so you can mention it. Is someone was asking, I think it might have been George actually, was asking if you had decided on a show car or if you were having a show car.
It's something we touched on, just being a smaller venue and the cost of doing a car or shirts and stuff like that. Someone mentioned a place for us to try for shirts, so we may try to do something for that. Good guy.
I don't know who that could be.
Right. But for the car, reason we're on the fence a little bit, again, being a smaller venue, it takes a lot to even just do a small run of 100 cars. It's expensive. But we have a egg liner that's coming out right about the same time as the show, and it's going to be a football. It's going to look like a football, and it's the egg liner football. So,
and I had a picture of that from last year. I think you guys had sent it to me, and it's been that long ago now that I don't know what I did with it. I was looking to see if I could find it, but I don't see it.
I know one vendor that will definitely be there. So.
Right.
You're going to have to steal half of somebody else's table, though, because I won't be there this time. And I do apologize that I won't be there, guys.
That's all right.
The wife and I have our anniversary, and I wasn't even going to ask.
No.
Trying to sell her on the romantic East Coast weekend.
You could have sold it with the sailboats in the Annapolis Harbor, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Talk her into coming down here. I'll have my friend take you guys on a nice honeymoon sail.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
What? You guys could, it'd be nice and quiet. So George said that there are lots of places for rail fanning and museums in the area, which is great. And then we had another question. What are the dates again?
So the show was April 14th and 15th. We kind of kept to the tradition of the Friday, Saturday show. And some of you guys may remember back in the day, it was a Thursday night starting and then all day Friday and Saturday show. And then a lot of his dealers were like, it was a killer. And so they did away with that. So Thursday was an all day setup and then selling on Friday and Saturday.
Well, I remember the first one I went to, which was, I believe, either 2000 or 2001, was it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right. And then it got changed to the selling on Thursday after 6, I think, 5 or 6 on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday to get that, that Sunday thing in. So and then it changed. Yep.
Yeah. Well, times change. What are you gonna do?
Right.
Oh, George sent you a picture of the football.
Oh, sweet. I'll check that out. And I put the dates at the bottom of the screen there in case somebody else asks again for the show.
Yeah, so that show's been running since 1999, and and for a scale that sometimes was really hot and where it's cooling down a little bit, I think we're doing okay trying to keep it alive. So,
we definitely kind of had a dry spell of nothing super new coming along, but I do have to say with, of course, the Dash 9s, the Evans. I think Bachman said they're going to do the 100 tons.
GP40s. I'm excited about the
GP40s.
That's a great move on their part.
Yeah, and so I mean, there's even though it's stuff that was made before, it's stuff that hasn't been made in a while. So, I'll take anything being produced.
Mm-hmm. It's good. I think, like you said, it's like LGB went through when they went under and came back. Is you got to get the parts out. You got to get the small stuff, motor blocks, couplers, and so it's nice to see that Bachman brought out the aristo-craft couplers for people who don't want to do KD, and engines and cars that people are asking for.
Yeah.
You know, and I know people have suggestions for all kinds of stuff. It just, again, what a lot of people don't know what it takes to get something produced, right? You know, from flat cars to hopper cars to covered hoppers. We'd love to see all that come out at one time, but it just takes time.
I'm still waiting on a guy to make a bulkhead flat car for market. I don't know who that could be.
I'm working on it.
Right.
Let's see here.
Between all the repairs and, a full-time job.
Takes time, right?
It's just, there's not enough time in the day.
No, it really isn't.
I know. Now I even have my son helping me and working on stuff, and I still don't have time. It's crazy.
Yeah, my daughter helping me, and sometimes it's still, but she's brought us up into more of the modern age. So we're selling it in venues that we used to sell in, but in a different way. So we're, getting heavier online and things like that. So
it's tough.
The one thing we do like for our store, as you guys probably know, is that when someone comes in the store, we really try to give you the time there than when people call or email. And we feel bad when we can't get back to you right away, but the store really does come first for us. Our customers who come to see us, who walk in and spend the time, and we like to spend time with them to get them into the hobby or the right information. And then we do the same thing when we do talk to you on the phone or on our emails, is give you our full attention. And I think, because I tell my daughter, honestly, I don't even know, why hobby stores or us are still in business when there's, people are buying online, just to buy, not asking questions or ordering the wrong stuff. And I think, knock on wood to us, is that we have always been there for the customer when we can, and not oversell them something, but give them the right information and the right guidance, advice. So.
And I finally got those pictures pulled down that George sent me.
So that's the egg liner. You could do with it as you wish, with any kind of special decals that you may find.
I do like it has the lace detail on the top there.
Yeah. So we're excited about it.
Oh, and that's kind of neat too. It's got the inflation on it, 11 to 13 pounds.
That depends where you are, right?
Yeah, that's a neat idea to go with there for the egg liner. It's very well suited for that.
Yeah, we thought so.
Shaped like a football, why not?
There you go.
And whoever knew with Lewis, coming up with that would be one of their best sellers. I mean, basically the end caps of their observation cars.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, that's the first thing I think that Bachman started doing out of the old Aristo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have 5 or 6 of them sitting here, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, and they, from aristo-craft of Bachman, just some of the cool paint schemes they've done with the butterflies and the ladybug and the Christmas ones, and they're full motor blocks, which some people don't understand or didn't know. Those are true full motor blocks, so they have the pulling power of an engine. The little critters, that did really well for them also.
Yeah.
And basically taking, part of the RS3 and, with the small motor block, and they've done really well.
Mm-hmm. Now,
sometimes you need in your layouts just a good puller engine, but something small.
I was always partial to the center cab. I always liked that.
I true too. And that had two full motor blocks on that.
Those were smaller ones, right?
Out of the
PCC trolley?
No, it had it out of the rail bus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they had the rail bus motor blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
power.
Do you guys sell the motor blocks that Bachman has for those in the store? Or?
We actually do. Yes, we actually do. So I know that's a hard part for people to order because it's a parts issue and not really on their main catalog. But yes, we do actually sell them in our store.
And are there going to be blocks for the 3-axle stuff as well, or?
Ooh, that's a Bachman question on that one because that's so new. I guess.
I wasn't sure if you knew or not.
Yeah, they haven't told us. A lot of times, Bachman is pretty good about informing the dealers about things. That one I don't know. My dad might, but I don't.
The 3-axle motor blocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be available.
Okay. That makes sense. And that'd be great for all the guys who bought the old aristo-craft stuff online.
Oh, yeah.
They'll probably need them.
Well, I mean, we've been running that stuff since when it came out. So,
Right.
as stuff wears out, you need those extra parts.
Right. You do.
I was lucky enough to buy a collection off somebody that had a ton of gears in it, and I've just been, picking pieces out of that.
Right. Keep
That
it going.
part's been for years to keep them going. Yeah.
Again, I think that'd be a Bachman question, but since that they brought out the -9s and they have all the, the components, I think for the guys who have had theirs outside that have fallen or derailed or whatever, hopefully they can get all the parts from Bachman, the horns or the windows or railings and steps, things like that. Because when we looked at the manual in the -9, they had the exploded view, and it showed a lot of the parts with numbers, I believe. So it'd be exciting for a lot of guys to keep their other ones going and just use their parts.
Just real quickly here, because Chuck Lardy asked Evan's car, enlighten me what that is. Let's see here.
Evan was a boxcar manufacturer.
Yeah, that's an Evans boxcar. This was one of the ones made by Aristo, and it's the same one essentially being reproduced by Bachman. And of course, Don's going to be getting them in.
Yes. With the end of track device, but hey, better than nothing.
Nice egg liner.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
That's
Now-
Timothy.
Just out of curiosity, the to get that custom egg liner done, like what kind of lead time was there to, from concept to actually finally getting one? Just so people know. I'm just kind of curious.
Over a year.
Over a year? Yeah, it wasn't an
maybe
over the weekend
Maybe
thing.
actually you might have been closer. No. Sarah might be right. I think it's closer to a year and a half to 2 years that we've been planning. They gave us 2 prototypes, and we actually had it in the store. So it was painted brown, and they took tape and masked it off, and then they didn't have the top part, and then so there's technically 2 prototypes out there that were made, and then they gave us 2. They air freighted 2 over for us to show people that they are coming.
Ooh.
Yep.
I agree with,
it's
Andrew. We need more Conrail, Don. More Conrail.
Somebody asked what the length of the Evans car is. I believe it's 53 foot.
Yeah, I believe it's a 53-footer double door.
Are we talking actual length or steel length? Because now I'm looking for my tape measure.
I think they're talking actual length.
Oh,
All right. I found my tape measure.
Where did it go?
pretty long.
Just about 21 3/4 inches long.
Coupler
Figure
to coupler or body?
That's body. Coupler to coupler, you're probably looking at 24 inches with the Aristo style couplers on there. So yeah, that's a pretty good sized car.
That's a nice car. Yeah.
Yep.
Just looking to see.
Mr. Engerman concurs. It is 53 foot.
Who does? Rex.
Right.
I hope you got your box of goodies, Rex. I sent it out on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. So on the vendors list, it's pretty much certain is MTH will be there also.
Oh, good.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to get them out there, and they do have some stuff coming out that's due out this year. They brought out the big boy. I think before Christmas was the G gauge big boy that came out. It was in and out quickly. They sold out and were released before people even knew it. But they did come out the G gauge big boy.
I know a couple people that have the MTH, the big boy they did for G scale, and it's actually a pretty nice locomotive.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I think it'll run on 8 or 10 foot diameter curves, which I'm pretty sure the one USA did, I think needs 15 or 20 foot.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Plus very stable track base because it weighs a ton for the USA one.
Right. Right. Yeah, MTH has been pretty good, and they're supposed to be bringing out their DCS system back out here shortly. I know it's in beta testing, I believe, right now. When I went up to their facility and talked to the guys, and then that's where I saw the big boy around Christmas time. They had one on the test track there, and then the big Z4000 transformers came and went quickly at Christmas time for the guys who missed out. But they'll be back out again supposedly. So so MTH is still coming out with the regular stuff and the G gauge stuff. I think the SD 70s. Can't remember what the.
They have a -8. They have SD. No, do they have an SD 70?
They did the -8. I
Right.
think they did an SD 70.
Maybe it's
Mac?
SD 70s, something. Yeah, Mac.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones that are due here this spring.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they did a couple different steam engines. I know they did like the Hudson and that. Hudson, they also did a Challenger at one time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we had a Western Maryland one in our store from the collection. It went pretty quickly.
There's
And
Manimal.
triplexes. We had
Manimal
two-
helping me out. That was an SD70 Ace that MTH did.
Oh, good.
Oh, everybody
I saw
else.
somebody else
corrected.
had the big boy. He said it runs.
Ryan, got another viewer, Tim Stump,
A lot of people jumped on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonathan the
So
Fish Guy. Yep, SD70 Ace.
SD70s. Thank you. Yeah. So I believe those are the ones that are hopefully in by the time the show happens or right after. They're supposed to let us know on the delivery. A lot of things are getting made, but they're being pushed back or delayed. Thank goodness not canceled, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems with just sourcing stuff right now.
Right.
It's
Right.
ongoing. I
Right.
mean, the business I'm in, we're ordering stuff from vendors here, and they're behind on production. 3 months behind. So I can't even imagine. Worldwide, there's just delays everywhere.
Right. Yep.
I forgot about that. MTH also did the triplex.
We had 2 of those come in from the collection. One of them got destroyed in shipment to
Oh.
Oreo.
Of course,
So if anybody wants triplex parts, call Don.
Right.
I know somebody looking for big boy parts, but I don't think the triplex parts will help them.
Right.
They also did the GG1.
Yep.
Yes. There's one in the store now. And they did we had a Western Maryland V1000 or something like that.
Yeah, switcher.
Switcher. Yep.
That was a Baldwin, I think.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I think
I forgot all about it until it came back in. I was like, oh, I remember this engine now.
They also did. I think they did what, F7s or F3s, and they also did Alco PAs.
Yep.
Mhm.
They actually made a ton of stuff.
Right. And the freight cars, they were nice. They did some really cool. The Baltimore Orioles. They always did some cool stuff.
They were the ones that did all the M&M's cars, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing that always on the Sepker's layout because they were right in front of us. The Pocono Mountain Club, they were always right in front of us. I always remember seeing the M&M train going around.
Right.
You didn't ever try to take some M&Ms and tell someone they can't have them, Nico? Like you did to Sean with the jelly beans?
That wasn't on my layout. And I only told that to you and Sean. I saw you guys coming. I wanted to save some for the children.
Always thinking about the children. See,
That's right.
You are a thoughtful guy, Nico.
I am. It's me, all heart.
And and for the large scale train show, if anybody has suggestions, we're always open to suggestions. And some, they just don't know some of the things that goes on, behind scenes. But in general, it's the bottom line is we want the show G gauge to continue regardless.
Yep.
In some form or another, big venue, small venue, and whatever. It's really, we're finding all scales, even O gauge took a really big hit in the last couple of years. And HO even, like you said, some of this, if people go to the train shows, they're seeing there's less of them. Just trying to do our part to keep it going.
I kind of see that the O gauge is, and I may be wrong, don't yell at me, Sean, but even with the O gauge that I was selling at the last show,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't move as quickly as previous shows.
Right.
So, I don't know, is there less people getting into O scale, or, I don't know.
I see someone asking if you have a website, and I'm double checking to make sure what your website was.
For the
Is it
store for the show.
Is it just Star? They said Nico's moved my comment. It says, does Star Hobby have a website? Is it just starhobbies.com?
Shopstarhobby.com.
I didn't touch your comment.
Oh, all right. Maybe it moved on me when I clicked. My apologies.
Yes.
You can yell at me later. There we go. If you look in the description of the video on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see a link to both the East Coast and the Star Hobbies website and Facebook pages.
And on that, for people, it's really my daughter who's doing all of it, and it takes a lot of work to put onto the website. So if there's anything you're really looking for, if you could call or email, that's great. The phone calls we answer right away. On the emails, we usually have to do them after we close or the following day or 2 days later, because we're catching up on all the orders and emails and everything else. But if anybody's ever put anything onto a website, it's so much work. So if there's something you're looking for and it's not on the website, we may still have it in the store and just haven't posted it or put it up for sale or otherwise.
And I just dropped a link for your website in the chat for anyone looking for it, and I'm going to put the one for East Coast in there in 1 second.
Dave said he had no problem with this purchase on the website. Thanks, Don.
Well, thank you.
Here's a suggestion of Berger said live webcam of the show panning.
I tried to do that Timonium 2020. Obviously that didn't work out, but yeah, that's definitely something I wanted to do.
Well, we had the one guy from the club that did the Timonium show with the drone. I think that was posted on Facebook, on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that too, because I want to put a link in the chat as well for the virtual store tour that's on your Facebook page, that people can actually take a look around the store. I think it's from 21 maybe.
Yeah, when COVID first.
October 2020, I believe.
The 2020, when COVID was really bad and everybody was shut down, we had to try to figure out how to show people what we had. And we had a company come out and did a 3D tour of the store. Now it's about 85% accurate because a lot of things have sold or moved around. I know there's been a couple people that have come into the store and posted on YouTube of some of the tours. One guy was really looking at our models because we buy models also, collections, and we've had some older models that people are like, remember that when they were a kid, and it always feels good when they said, I remember as a kid, and they just buy it. They're just glad. Yeah, that was Tom. That's right. I forgot. It was Tom. Yeah. Yeah, he was great.
I see someone mentioned about we did a live stream at the show last year. I won't be there, but I'm going to see if I can talk Nico into walking around. I mean, he was in like 75% of the video last year. Every time you turn a corner, like Nico comes walking by, like, something funny going on there.
You guys did the tour exactly when I got Vinny to stay at the table so I could go walk around.
And, and with that show last year, it was nice that we had several clubs that were bringing stuff to sell off that were not needed or being used as much. So it was a great way to find some things that are hard to find at good prices, and not paying, what you see online or
I came home with more stuff than I should have bought.
Right.
And my wife came home with a few houses for a fairy garden somehow.
Mm-hmm. So
I remember that. I sold it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always good deals to find. I mean, there's always things that you're not going to find online, or because there's guys that don't want to sell online. So,
right, yeah, because even the Timonium show, and that was great that Tom did the video from the Virginia club, Virginia Beach.
Tidewater big train operators.
Yep.
Looks like Taya had a question for you, Sarah. She was asking if they'll be able to post pictures of the show on the Facebook page. She said last year they couldn't.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it, Tia.
Yeah, she always takes a ton of pictures everywhere that she goes. She does a nice job of documenting it.
Oh, she's awesome.
Oh, I like Kyle.
I get home and I go, I should have took pictures.
I see Kyle's going to get an Andrew cut out and walk around. I want to see this.
That'd be awesome.
Now we just got to get somebody to get a
Andrew.
What's that?
Can we get an inflatable Andrew?
I don't know if we got the budget for that. Cardboard, maybe.
Right.
we gotta hold on to something for next year, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I was looking to see if anybody else had dropped anything in there real quick.
Kyle also offered to do the walk around.
Oh, okay.
I know it's a Timonian show. I think one of the club guys was selling a lot of his stuff, and I know a lot of people got a lot of his stuff, and they were so excited and happy because he was offering at good prices. And at the end of the show, technically it was a closed show because we were shut down. He said it was an awesome show, and he sold everything off, and he was just grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, you were saying at Timonian?
It's Timonium, yeah.
I remember I kind of wish I had more money with me to buy more from that guy. I mean, I forget what the prices were, but for cars with metal wheels and KDs on them, he was giving them away.
Right. Yep.
Here's a product idea for you, Andrew.
Yeah, I saw that. There's actually a guy that does that. I've seen him. He's out of Canada. It's called Mini Prints. He actually has a YouTube channel, and he was up at the Big E up there, and he actually sets up because the people actually have to like stand on a rotating turntable real still as they spin around, and he gets a scan of them.
Yep.
I think we saw something like that at Disney.
Yeah.
Something like that, at least, or they make
They
a late.
did that at what was that? There was a place in the city that had that big layout.
Which
It's called like Lilliput Junction or something, and they would scan you, and they would put you on the layout. Like you could decide where you wanted to be put in the layout. Oh, Gulliver's Travel or something like that. There was I think it's gone now. But
I see we had someone drop a suggestion in here, and I see it every year, and I know what the pitfalls and ups and downs of it are, but we do see people every year mention about having layout tours during the East Coast show, but that's a whole different thing to coordinate, obviously. And
we looked at it, I think, back at York, and some people were like open to it and then trying to coordinate everybody. It was hard. From the requirements to saying that they only could be open on these days because of neighborhoods or work schedules. That's what we found. It is. I love the concept, and we even thought about that for the Annapolis area because there are a lot of clubs in the Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland area, a couple right by our store. That we would love to have incorporated, but a lot of times it is a coordination issue to do that.
So how far is the B&O Museum from Annapolis?
Probably about half an hour, 40 minutes, because it's mostly, if anybody knows the area from Annapolis to Baltimore, it's like 20 minutes, but for where the museum is, you're going into the city part because the city kind of grew around the museum. It's a realistic timetable, and you can Waze or something like that or Google Maps, but probably realistically about 40 minutes, 45.
That sounds about right.
I've been there. It's a great museum.
It is. It's a very nice museum.
They did a lot after the blizzard and everything got crushed and damaged. They got tons of funding, and it's a great place to go if you are visiting from that area and you in the area. It's a great museum to go to.
Yeah, we've been there a couple times over the years, and we always have a great time. I mean, the turntable is gorgeous. The hardwood turntable. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, especially if they do a demonstration showing a person actually turning the turntable where they jump down in the pit and spin it around. I know Mark Bartley said the cost of making a figure like me was expensive. I thought I'd wait for a price drop. Yeah, let me make about 1,000 of them and then have to clearance them out because nobody's buying them. That'd probably be the safer bet. So,
I mean, that's we there's a couple great customers and friends that live in the area that we could always reach out and see if they would be willing to do something. Again, we'll take that into consideration. If it does happen, we'll post it definitely. The one layout that someone may have suggested, it was a guy named John Winger.
and he's up on the second floor of a 4-car garage, and he had like 14 track lines running.
Jeez.
And it was just awesome. Just a lot of stuff he made himself in the buildings and things like that. So, but
Got a question if you have both CSX numbers in stock.
For the Dash 9s.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. We brought in over 40 of them. So yeah.
There you go, Trey. You can get both of them. And there was only place to see a CNJ Camelback.
That's right.
Actually, yeah, that is correct. And actually, is it a Camelback or is it a Mother Hubbard? I had a whole conversation about that with my friend Dan.
Someone else said the same thing. They weren't sure if it was a Camelback or a Mother Hubbard. You're right.
You were going to do a giveaway, were you not, Don?
We were, right.
And what were you going to do?
So if anyone, I don't know how you want to pick, but free admission to the show in April.
Yeah. We'll do a hashtag. Nobody enter anything yet. I'm ready to click the button to start collecting. Is hashtag star? Does that work for you?
Cool.
Okay, so give me 1 second here, everybody. And that's for both days of the show or just one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see here. Just give me 1 second here.
And no, it's not a gym discount.
That is clearly not a discount.
If it was a gym discount, you would have to pay twice.
Right. One free ticket to get and pay for two.
Yes.
However, you're probably guaranteed to have a Jim sighting if you go to the East Coast show because he always tends to show up at least one day.
He does, in and out, but
Rex said he's going to fund. He'll pay for the Dash 9 if you give it away. That's what Rex just said.
Just an idea, huh?
They should give away a Dash 9. So Rex is going to pay for it, and you guys give it away. How's that sound, Rex?
All right. So anybody that would like to enter to get free admission to the show, just put hashtag star in the live chat on Facebook or over in YouTube land. And we'll let that run here for a few minutes and let people put an entry in for that.
So Chris said, what about the people that can't make it to the show? Oh, it jumped on me. There we go. Well, we're going to do another giveaway a little later for people that can't go to the show.
Yeah.
This is for people that are planning to attend.
Yeah. Towards the end of the show, we're going to do another giveaway for people that aren't going to be able to make it to the show, which obviously not everybody can make it. I can't make it, but I also can't participate in the giveaway.
I'll be there supporting Large Scale Live.
Yep. Nico will take the winner out to dinner, place of their choosing, right? No? Oh, okay.
As long as you're paying, sure.
Some news that we got from LGB was they would love to come to our show, but they're going to be in Germany for that weekend. And because again, they want to get out and start doing shows. And they wanted to come, but they regretfully can't make it or change their plans. They'll be in Germany that weekend. So
I mean, that just goes to show. I mean, you have the manufacturers looking to come to your show.
Yeah, and Bachman's definitely going to be there. They were there last year. They pretty much have come every year, and answer questions, show the prototypes. Last year they showed the prototypes of the Dash 9s, the Evans, I believe, and some of the other things I can't remember. And hopefully this year they'll have some other prototypes, and I'm sure Larry can probably answer or show what may be being showed at or offered at the show of things to come.
Got another question if Pico is coming. They used to do the East Coast show.
They did. They used to fly in and just have the handouts and answer questions.
No, but there was one vendor that used to sell all just Pico stuff.
Yeah, Jim from G Gauge Junction, right?
No,
he's
not Jim.
No,
not Jim.
It was another gentleman. All he sold was Pico stuff, and he's from New Jersey.
You mean that wasn't Pico?
It wasn't Pico, but
oh, okay. I never put the two together
because I asked him that.
I had to ask my dad. I don't recall.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jim used to bring us stuff. Now I know Pico has an East Coast rep, but I know right now they're just really swamped. We just got a bunch of Pico stuff in from them the other day, transformers and
I
track.
believe it's the rep that was doing it, but he also he didn't have a store, but he was like the rep from Pico, but then he was stuff like he sold online only. And it's on one of their catalogs I have in my garage. But yeah, he was always there. He had the big Pico setup.
Right. Huh.
Oh, what happened to G Scale Junction? Is he still around?
He is still. Oh, I see the question. Yeah, Jim is still around. I know he shows up at some of the shows around here on and off, and I don't think he was at your guys' show last year, but
last year he was on a family trip to Europe. Yeah. He said he was in Europe that weekend for that week or so.
Yeah, he used to have a brick and mortar location, and his stuff is pretty much kind of warehoused, I think, at this point. If I remember correctly, if people called and set up appointments, they could come and look around. But like the hobby shop wasn't his full-time business, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. He has a regular full-time job that kind of takes precedence over that, which is amazing because for you, a hobby shop's a full-time job.
Oh,
Could you imagine doing another job and running a hobby shop?
It's a lot of work. A lot of work. It's retail, it's a lot of work.
And Kyle knows who you're talking about, Nico, but he apparently can't help it, so he's keeping it to himself.
Old Pico stuff. Yes, and Berger says he has the contact info.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Mark Bartle said that Jim's an architect. You are correct, Mark. Let's see.
Oh, well, guess Goody's still around then? Oh, I guess you haven't heard from him about the show, have you?
No, not yet. Again, when a lot of these guys, like you said, are full-time jobs for the most part or other things, and they're always waiting to get back to us.
Yep.
We'll try to reach out to the Pico guy too.
I said I have his stuff in there. I could send you an email.
Okay. And as guys remember from the old shows years ago, or even recently in the last 3 to 5 years, it was getting less and less vendors. A lot of the vendors were retiring, selling their business or passing on. And some of the other dealers who've gotten older who don't want to travel anymore.
Yeah. There's a lot of businesses that either there's not another generation or the upcoming generation doesn't want to take up the business. They don't want that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff. I'm not saying anything, sir. I was just I was just pointing that out, that a lot of times it's not for a lack of not wanting it to go on, but it's just someone has to want to do it, obviously.
And for the some of the mid-sized manufacturers, if people remember, we used to have open houses at our old store, and even into this store in the 90s and early 2000s, Lewis Polk used to come to our store. Way before anybody else had those kind of things going on, we had them. We did open houses. And if you look at, I just had a customer give us an old 2007 aristo-craft catalog. And in that catalog, if you look, there's a flat car. It's the Spotlight car. If you look at the picture in that catalog, that's ours. And Lewis said, hey, can I buy this and make this? So the prototype was our car that we made. Those are K-line lights. Spotlights that we put on there, and we took the flat car and the cabooses and put them together. And then I actually saw it at Dad's house. He did a Christmas one. Our repair guy made a Christmas tree one. I would love to see someone produce that on the level, because it was basically a flat car with a caboose, and our repair guy did it with a Christmas tree and lights and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And then the wood loads that came afterwards, those were wood loads that we had made for us that Lewis got, and started making that kind of stuff. So Lewis, it was awesome to have Lewis at the show at our store for the open houses, because he'd always walk the store and come up with ideas like, "Oh, what can I do?" And that was always nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I never had a chance to meet Lewis before he retired.
He was a good guy. He was down to earth, talk to people.
No, I didn't start going to the East Coast show. I want to say the last 2 or 3 years that it was still in York is when I started going.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure by then, I think Aristo might have gone away and come back as
Hulk's generation next.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Scott was going with stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rick said he was great to talk to. Yeah, I talked to him
Yeah.
multiple times. I talked to him because I was in New Jersey, so I talked to him at his place in Irvington.
Mm-hmm.
I would run down there to pick up parts or, go
And you
talk.
did. You ran there and ran back. So
Yes.
yeah, you didn't stick
Well,
around.
I had to do it at lunch, so it was. I mean, I was cooking.
Yeah, he was in not a great place back then
No,
at that location.
yeah, that was not the best of areas.
Right. Mhm.
But
I'm going to take this banner for the giveaway down. It looks like the entries have stopped. I'll give that a minute and we'll do the giveaway for that.
Nice.
see who our free door entry.
And dinner with Nico.
Good company. Good company.
All right, you have to buy Nico dinner. That's the prize.
You get to go to dinner with me, but you got to buy me dinner.
Yeah, what's wrong with that, right? I had a wonderful time going to dinner with you last year. It was you and I, Oliver from Germany, Dave and TJ Weber.
Yep.
Where did you guys go?
Right down.
There's a barbecue place.
Yeah,
Red
it's
on
like,
Blue?
yeah, it's like right down at the end from you guys, or I believe.
Okay. There's
Yeah.
another great place if anybody likes seafood fresh. There's a place called Riverside. Right down, it's in the neighborhood. It's usually the locals or the boaters that know about it. Cantlers. Sometimes in the spring, you can actually see the boat come up from the water, or the boat off the water, and they had a conveyor belt bringing the seafood right off the boat into the restaurant.
Wow.
And we don't own the restaurant, so I'm just saying it's a cool place.
What's it called? Stars?
Yeah. Cantlers by Star. And I know a lot of our customers come like from the DC and Northern Virginia area would always like, hey, what's this place called? And we tell them. And it's called Cantlers, and it is in the neighborhood on the water. So it's a hard place, not hard to get to, just you wouldn't see it. It's off the beaten track.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So you're going to do the drawing?
We'll do the drawing. We're going to watch Nico get robbed. That's what we like to do. All right. Let's see who's going to get free admission to the show this year. Make sure I don't see Nico's name showing up in there.
Twice.
Hey, Kenny Kincaid is our winner. We know Kenny. We can provide you with photo evidence of who he is.
Good.
What would you like Kenny to do? Just identify himself when he comes to the show, or reach out to you ahead of time?
Yeah, just flag me down at the show. I'll
Okay.
be doing tickets and stuff. So yeah.
All right.
And we will need ID because there'll be so many Kennys going to the show.
Yeah, I almost kind of wish I would have made a Jim V-Check fake account and entered it in there. Just okay. But something I was going to ask you, since we were talking about food, is maybe I asked you before, and I don't think you mentioned it tonight, but was there any possibility of like any food trucks showing up for the East Coast show? I think you maybe mentioned that.
Yeah, there's a couple we're working with right now, and the one guy who was trying to come last year, and then something changed. He actually is a barbecue guy, and his trailer looks like a train.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we're hoping he can make it this year, and if not, we're looking at 2 other vendors to come, because at that time of year in the spring like that, there's also a lot of traffic for Route 50. If anybody knows this area, Route 50 to the beach, and so it'd be a good place for them to be. So for the weekend, they many years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, there was a couple places that used to have like barbecue pit trailers in the parking lot for traffic going by, and a snow cone machine or whatever. So yes.
I like ice cream.
Well, who doesn't like ice cream?
Right.
Unless you're lactose intolerant, I guess.
The name of that Pico guy was Garden Tracks.
Well, I saw someone else had mentioned they thought it was
It wasn't Train Lee.
It wasn't Train Lee?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, because they're out west now too. Again, so vendors have either moved away
Yep.
or and that's again, people are always asking to touch on a little bit. Why aren't you in big venues, or why even years ago we knew that some changes were going to be coming down the road. So
sorry, I had to put that up there for Nico. But also for Kenny, I'll put up here. Joseph threw out there that Nico's buying a lobster dinner. So
No, I'm buying a lobster. Lobster, dude.
lobster.
I will definitely buy you a lobster.
2 of them.
So one thing I know some people would ask me, is your dad still active with the store right now then?
Oh yes.
I know he was busy tonight. He couldn't join us, but I had a few people like messaging me on the side asking because they didn't see your dad on here. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
He's taking a break. He's on vacation. He'll be back Thursday, back in the store. Can use his help. He's watching right now.
He's watching. I'm already picturing the face he made when I said about the Jim Vichek.
Right. Yeah. So no, Dad's still very active in the business, and my parents are getting older. As a lot of people who've been doing this since the 80s and 90s that we see all the time. If they're still in the business, they're just getting up there in age. But no, I mean, I forget which show, but they're going to be in Colorado next month doing the show up there. I forget what it's for. So they're still traveling, doing the shows. They were just in Edison. We'll be in Edison in a couple of weeks for the Greenberg show. And, people saw them in Richmond just recently. So they're still pretty active. Again, it's not as many shows when my parents were doing it before. I mean, we never saw them on weekends from basically start of fall to the spring. So
there was a lot of parties at your house when you were younger.
Jeez.
There's still the statute of limitations. We cannot talk about those right now yet.
I can either confer nor deny.
There was 5 of us kids. So
Dan's turning the volume up on the TV right now.
Yeah, and it was
So that's good. I mean, I'm looking forward to the show. I always look forward to it every year. I mean,
thank you.
That's
what we like to hear.
And it wasn't like, some people are like, oh, well, there's no this or there's no that. I mean, one of the biggest things for me was I got to go see people that I only see once a year.
Right.
Right. So it wasn't all about just buying trains. It's about, seeing those people I get to see once a year.
Right, because honestly, there's so many venues now to buy trains or collections or any of that kind of stuff. Right, from what's the word I'm looking for? Auctions to in the paper or eBay or whatever it is. And that, like I said, when we first did the show right after COVID or that 2021. Was a lot of people, like I said, that travel was like, it was just good to see people and see our friends that we've always met at the show. Yeah. Because honestly, you can buy this stuff anywhere, anytime, at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I mean,
in your underwear too,
In your underwear. That's right. Or, so that's what makes the shows special. Is they put a place up that's not too expensive. So the vendors don't also get priced out of the venue. Because costs are going up everywhere, from our regular train shows to our own show, and then attendance has been down. So trying to get people to come to the shows. It doesn't matter who's there selling.
Yep,
I'm with Taya there. I really never go to buy anything, although I always do.
There's always something.
It's like a side effect. I typically go just to see people that I only interact with, through Facebook and that most of the year.
Right.
Oh, hey, good thing for you, Nico. Sean will be there, so you can buy him that bag of jelly beans.
I'll buy you a bag of jelly beans, Sean.
And what's nice to have, and to have some of the manufacturers come back because they weren't doing shows for a while.
Yeah.
And a lot of the manufacturers were saying, no, we're not coming. I think some of even the big shows that people go to out west. There was a big show, I think, in Wisconsin that was pushed back, or vendors weren't going to go, or manufacturers. It's still, we forget. Some people are still not comfortable coming out in big crowds, and that's another thing we have to watch out for. We can't go to too big of a venue, and there's different rules apply and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I keep telling people when they bring up, oh, well, it's smaller. Well, if you don't go, it's never going to get bigger.
Right. Right.
If you go and then the vendors are going to see that people are selling out, then more vendors will go, and it's just going to grow back to what it was.
Feeds off each other. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it will never be, it's never going to be big again if you don't go.
Right.
Let's see. We got one person asking, have you heard anything from USA Charlie Rowe, if they're going to be at the show this year?
We haven't heard back from him. So when his dad was alive, his dad always said he'll always support our show. Then I know that Chucky is the son, Charlie Jr. is taking over. He was there last year, and he said he enjoyed the show, but he said it's a little bit smaller, and it takes a lot for them to come out. But I know he doesn't even do TCA anymore. He doesn't even do the Garden Railway conventions. So it was good to see him last year. And like I said, we haven't heard back from all the vendors yet. They always drag their feet when they know they can just take their time.
I know they said that they did really well last year. I know when we were there, Sean actually did an interview with Charlie Jr.
Right.
And I know there was a lot of people that showed up. That was Friday, I think Sean and I did the live stream, and there was a bunch of people that showed up on Saturday then after seeing the live stream.
Right. And it was nice to hear his Butch and all his people was just excited to do a train show, a good one, and see the people that, because they've been doing train shows, especially the G-Gate show, for a long time.
Yep.
And to see the same people you buy from, or they call you on the phone, or or put the order online, to see a face with the people you're selling to, it always feels good.
Yeah. That's, like I said, it's most of the reason I went to that show every year and looked so forward was just seeing and hanging out with everybody, and
right. Seeing what's out there and just seeing people.
Well, like I said, the show didn't end at the show. We all went back to the hotel. We were in the bar. We were hanging out in the pool. We were always out and about and having a good time and meeting with everybody. So.
And there was always the guys that got together, the show and something.
Dragon Brag.
Yeah, Dragon Brag. Yes.
Large Scale Central guys, all the Dragon Brag. Yep. They actually got the room last year, and there was like 4 or 5 of us up there for a little bit.
Yeah, I went in for a little bit. That was fun to go in and sit down and chat with people.
Yeah, but again, unless people go, that's not going to keep happening and keep growing. So
right. And just those little things that happen after the show, that we don't have any control or didn't know about, or it was cool to know about.
Yeah.
Just little things, and that's what makes the shows special, and that's what we like. And we're a small family business, and we've always believed in, doesn't matter how many people come, as long as they're coming to enjoy the place and having a good time and things to buy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put up there that George is forcing Gary to buy. He made a post earlier today, and I told him that's so nice of him to take Gary to spend all of his money.
He does help him though. That was true the other day. They were there just the other day because more stuff got dropped off, and he helps them. They help each other, I think.
I don't think I've ever seen the two of them not together. So I'm really surprised when I hear that one of them's there and not the other. Although I do have to say that between George and Gary and Jim, I remember getting messages one day because they were joking about Jim being on oxygen and turning his oxygen off on him, and people are messaging me asking if Jim was okay. I'm like, yeah, Jim's okay. They're playing around.
There is free parking.
Yeah. Another question about parking.
Yeah, so basically the show is basically at our shopping plaza, and it's an old plaza. It's right by the Bay Bridge in Annapolis off of Route 50, and it's a big parking lot.
and that's where the live steam guys were. Right, they were right in the parking lot also, for people to come out and just, even if they didn't come to the show, that they could see them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, I had a great time. As always.
Multiple hotels, multiple restaurants, from seafood to steakhouses. Annapolis kind of offers a little everything, as a McDonald's to
5-star.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah.
Ruth Chris, whatever you need or like. So
Yeah. So you could spend more on food than you can on
pretty much, right? Right.
Well, see, what you do is you get the wife to go with you, and then you go and spend money on trains, and then you buy her a nice dinner, and
that's right.
Happy.
Then come back the next day.
I was just going to drop this up here so people
yes.
can kind of see just a Google Street View, but this whole area you see here in front of you is what you guys occupy for the East Coast show. And what that runs from, it actually goes up into this area, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the Southeast Club was.
Yeah, so it runs from there, and I think you guys are
right about there, right?
Right about here. So I mean, it's a rather large space, and like I said, and anyone that's wanting to go over to Star Hobby, they're conveniently right here.
That's right. Right. And the parking lot, if you go to the left, you'll see it's a pretty big parking lot. It goes all the way out to the highway.
Yeah, there's plenty of parking there. Like I said, there are a couple places to eat in the plaza there, if I remember.
There's a Papa John's, yep.
And just down the street over the other way, McDonald's and that, and there's a couple of restaurants.
Red Hot and Blue.
Yes. Yeah. But I do recommend eating there. That was pretty exceptional.
Yeah, we do like Red Hot and Blue ourselves. I love the chili and the potato salad.
We even got Andrew some crayons so he could color while we were waiting for our food.
I felt bad for the waitress because she looked all embarrassed giving them to me. She's like, "Yeah, that gentleman over there said that you might want some crayons and coloring material."
Nice.
That's the thing I've always liked about going to the show. I like the people. I like the trains are always fun. I always buy something, but I go for the people. It's the experience for me.
It's the experience. And that's, again, it's what we believe in, is the experience, and want the show to keep going. But again, if you don't come, it's what it is.
I don't, myself personally, I don't expect you guys to have some super humongous venue and hope that people show up. Like, you got to see the demand for it.
Right.
And what I say to everybody is, everybody go this year to where Don can't close the doors and the fire marshal has to come because there's too many people in the building.
There's always worse problems. So, right.
And then next year you'll get what you want.
That's it. That's exactly. We're willing to put it anywhere people want us to put it. If I can get the vendors and the crowds, it wouldn't do well to be, regardless if it was at Timonium or York, to have 80,000, 100,000 square foot place, and you walk around and then you'd be disappointed. Like, why am I come for this? It's humongous and everything's spaced out and there's nobody here. It just, financially doesn't work that way either.
We got another question from Mark. He said, is there any railroads, yards, railroad hotspots nearby? And I know there is. There is
several, actually, from the port of Baltimore, where you see a lot of the auto carriers coming through out of there. I believe there's one in Bowie, Maryland. There's a place, there's a curve that you can kind of sit. I don't know where I'm sure there's some forums or things out there where people posted train spots. But I know in Bowie, there's supposed to be a great spot to see some of the trains. And, of course, the ones coming out of D.C. Some of those are boring. It's the coal train for for power. But there's supposed to be in Bowie area. There's supposed to be some great spots, which is from us about another 20, 30 minutes. And in Baltimore, definitely the port. And there's a bunch of trains out of there. I have a friend of mine who probably knows some around the Pennsylvania, Maryland area. Maybe put on our website or on the East Coast of other things to do. So, yeah.
Maybe other attractions or other things, if you find some of those things for people to do.
Right.
Somebody posted, where is it? Hold on. There it is. Bowie Railroad Museum is a good spot to watch Amtrak.
There you go.
Very nice.
And then we had another question. What airport do you fly into there? So I guess whatever is the closest airport to you. What airport is closest?
BWI.
Yeah, so BWI is like 25 minutes from Annapolis. It's
Okay.
right off of 97 to 50, and yeah, it's a great airport. Services, I think, most, if not all, airlines. I know. So some of the guys that come over from Europe fly right into. If they don't go, so there's several, which is really nice. So we have BWI, which is 20 minutes up the road, 25 minutes up the road. A little bit further, you have DCA right there in DC. And then you have Dulles, which is in Virginia outside DC. And depends where you're flying to. There's Philly. And that's about 2 hours from the airport to the store, or to Annapolis, roughly. So
yeah,
quite a few airports just in a 2 hour drive.
you could probably, even if you had to come into a major, you could probably take a smaller flight from that
Right.
major airport down to the smaller airports too.
Right. But I know I think several flights have come in from Europe, from London or Ireland, right into BWI. Or not Dulles. And Dulles for us is about an hour and 10-minute drive. It's right off of 66 to the DC Beltway, and a lot of it's just traffic. And then on the other side of the Beltway is Route 50 to Annapolis. And that's a major hub right there too.
Yeah, just another question there. Anybody else have any questions for Don and Sarah regarding the show? Please feel free to ask.
I'm just scrolling back up through there to see if anyone had dropped anything else in there, but I think you guys have been doing a really good job of covering what most people are asking.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure of ours to be on the show and answering questions, and we'll try to answer the best we can on any hard questions or questions you have. I think we kind of touched on why this show is as small as it is, or not as big as it can be. It's for the guys who are in multi-scales who do the TCA meet in York, where that used to be in the whole fairgrounds. Now it's not in as many buildings. Again, it's just shows in general, or just
I did not highlight that question. That was Nico.
Well, I want to get Sarah talking here.
What's that?
So do you have an interest in model trains, or is just the business side of it?
So
Just the business part. It's just I've been around trains my whole life, so it's kind of just, I don't know. I'm just mostly roped into the family business. No complaints though.
But she just graduated from a school up in Pennsylvania, side Philly, called Arcadia, and she got her degree in business international.
Business administration.
Oh,
Very
nice.
nice.
So she's like, well, let me work my skills. And I was like, well, come and work with us for a little bit. So she took a year off she just graduated in March. And so
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I said, well, come and help me and your grandfather, and get us up to date, at least into out of the 90s into the early 2000s of how we should do business. And so we're a little frustrating for her, and I get it. We still like to write hand receipts, and she's like, no.
Hand receipts. Oh, man.
But we're actually pretty good at it and efficient, and doing train shows, being fast with questions and money and everything. We're actually pretty efficient at it. But I know there's better ways. And she brought us into selling online better, and updated our website, and got us into some other selling avenues.
Facebook.
Facebook, and eBay and things like that, to really, because that's where it is. It's, the days of walking in the store, not as common. I don't care if you're at Target or Walmart even, right? You can order online and deliver it, or you're in the parking lot, so we get that. It's changing. So she's helping us with that.
So do you carry ESU products? Another question.
We have in the past. I haven't carried anything recently.
Okay. Here's another. Annapolis Junction is on the CSX main line between Baltimore and DC.
That's right.
Jessup Yard is there. So
Mhm.
here's another place for you go check out some real railroading,
Mhm.
real trains, and see what else we got here. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. And again, MTH is going to be there definitely, because those are solid, and Bachman and stuff like that, to see what's coming out for the future and where they want to be, especially for MTH. you know, where they kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, like they almost closed, really, right? And then
Right.
somebody else, the employees took it over, basically.
Right. Yep. So they have a smaller facility in off of Route 100 in I can't remember that town. Elkridge. Yeah, thank you. In Elkridge.
They're still in Maryland, correct?
They're still in Maryland. Yeah. So they left Columbia and they're in Elkridge off of Route 100.
St. Denis has a viewing area for CSX also, where Jim Vichek hangs out. I don't know if you want to go there then. That might not be a safe area.
All right.
Does anyone remake trucks or parts for the aristo-craft center cab?
Ooh,
To the best of my knowledge, not at the moment.
right.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, those are different trucks. Those are the ones that they used on the rail bus.
Mm.
I actually have 2 brand new in the package, but I have a center cab, so you're not getting them.
Strangely enough, I think it was last year I walked away from a center cab at your show. I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I.
They're unique.
Don't ever think to yourself, do I need that? That's the wrong question to
So,
ask.
as most people tell you at a train show, if you think you want it, you hold on to it till you're 100% sure you don't, and you set it down because the guy next to you is going to get it, or when you come back, it's gone because they
And
watch.
don't set it down to get your wallet out of your pocket, because
No.
it wasn't at your show. It was at another one. I set something down and reached for my wallet. It's like I looked and someone's walking away with it. I'm like, what's this?
I had that happen to me at a trade show also.
That makes
I
me
was buying
as a
something
vendor.
and-
As a vendor, that makes me so happy to see that. It's like yes.
I was literally like giving the guy the money, and somebody else walked up, just dropped the money, picked the thing up, and walked away. I was like, what the hell?
Was this in Jersey?
It was, it was in Jersey.
Yeah. Probably Edison or somewhere up there. Yeah.
Congratulations. You got some congratulations to Sarah on
Thank
her
you.
On her graduation.
Oh.
Thank you.
Chuck wants to know if you're still using the slide credit card machine.
I miss those personally because my knuckles, they got really tough. But no, that one I don't miss. But we still have one in the store.
I'd say some of the cards don't even have raised numbers on them
They
anymore, if
don't
I remember correctly.
Right. No, a lot of cards don't.
Man, that brings back some memories, especially when those would get jammed up trying to run the card.
So funny story. So there was multiple times at train shows when we were hustling. Sometimes it would ride up and you go like that with the machine and the car would ride up and we hand it to them and it would be slightly sliced or in half. You're like, I'm so sorry. Here you go. But yeah, because back then you'd have to put it in and go boom, boom, really fast and they jump up and you still went. It would slice their card. Yeah.
Well, my suggestion to anybody attending the show, as I learned the first year I went, take cash with you, because especially if you're coming in from out of town, and also you have vendors from different states sometimes. I made one purchase, moved to the second place to make a purchase, and my card got declined. And about 10 seconds later, my phone rang because it was the automated fraud thing, because the one vendor was from Michigan, the other was from Florida, and the fraud flagged it because it's like, wait a minute. You know?
So good point, right? So from any shows, and I'm sure some people have been to the shows and they've seen this happen too, is yes, so for vendors from all over, so everything is with the chip reader. So they're saying, hey, this card was chipped and it was here. And so wherever they're from is where the sale happened. And it's not necessarily at that location. So yes, it would show up as like Michigan and then also Detroit and then Edison, New Jersey, or Annapolis, Maryland, all within minutes of each other. And like, how's that even possible? So yes, it's not uncommon. And so there is an ATM machine at the Wawa up the road and Anglers. We won't have one there liability wise. Yeah. I don't feel like missing a window.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want that liability either.
No, Chuck said if you're traveling, just let your bank know ahead of time.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, that is the key, but it can still trip your bank up if you tell them you're traveling to Maryland and then you got charges coming through from Michigan or
states.
Yeah.
I would still rather have the security of getting declined than
right
having my card open and all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. That happened to me when Home Depot got hacked a couple years ago. Thankfully, I didn't have that much in my bank account, and it got put back. But it's
right. inconvenience.
You feel that spot in your throat get tense. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
When everything's open source there. Oh, great. I mean, I'm looking forward to the show. I mean, I already got my room booked. Well, no, I don't have my room booked. I have I sent my thing in for the tables.
Yep.
I'm good there.
Good.
The room.
And I know one of the clubs, I forget what Turk's club is. So they're coming too, and they have more stuff to sell off from their club. And I know a lot of people are pretty happy with the things that they were offering.
Yeah.
Hard to find stuff and in good shape and good prices, basically. So.
Yeah, I bought a few things off of them.
Yeah.
I think I bought a few things off of almost everybody. So.
Right. Yeah, I remember because I was in the store. I'm not allowed out much, but watching from the window of the store, I saw a lot of stuff going out the door into the cars, and that was a great feeling. That people are coming and finding the things they're looking for, or things they didn't know they wanted and saw it there. So.
Yeah, it's always something catches your eye, or there's something you've been looking for, and you're like, this is great. I've been looking for this for years.
Right.
So
like a center cab.
Like a center cab, yeah.
Like a center cab.
Yeah.
Now there probably won't be a single one there. It's either there won't be any there, or there'll be like 30 of them now.
Right.
I'll buy every one and dangle them in front of you. Look,
you would too. That's what friends are for, right?
That's definitely.
Thinking about that, Nico, I got plastic wheels here for you if you're looking for any.
There you go. We kept on throwing those plastic wheels back and forth.
Nico had a whole coffee can full of them and kept trying to give them away. And when he came up here to the show we had up here, he kept finding them and giving them back. But as he was packing stuff up, I had several of them I took and tossed in his boxes as they were getting closed up, and then they got shipped back to me with other stuff.
Well, speaking of wheels, so as everybody knows, when we used to do the shows in New York and stuff like that, we've always came with like 100 cases of wheels and stuff like that. For this year, we're probably gonna have maybe 200 or 300 cases of wheels for the show again.
The Bachmann wheels.
Yeah, the metal Bachmann wheel, excuse me.
Oh, nice.
So years past, we've always brought 100, 120, 130 and always sold out from the clubs or people starting. So we're going to have plenty of wheels and KD couplers again and things like that. So I'm actually really excited for this year for some reason. It's just with seeing some of the parts come back with the motor blocks, the Dash 9s, the Evans, and some of the other things coming back. The store has actually been pretty busy with G-gauge sales lately. We haven't seen that in a couple of years. So that's exciting too, to know that people are coming back or thinking about it again. A lot of track sales. So that means people are expanding the layouts or putting new ones in.
Yeah. Did you say you're going to have KDs there?
Mm-hmm. KD Couplers, not the company. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. That's what I meant. Okay. Because I know there's some people that have asked about, they're looking for KD couplers in the past. I couldn't remember if you carried them or not.
We did, and last year we had some, but then we ran out really quick because we weren't sure what to bring in. And this year we're going to have plenty. So,
will you have 906s this year?
Yes. Yeah. For some reason, like 907's been really a big seller on our website. We've sold quite a few of the 907s. And I looked them up. I was like, oh, was it 907 like an 830? And it's not. I think it's for.
Your 906 are these guys that are in the big box,
mm-hmm.
And then.
The 907s are like the same thing, but without the slack action.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm used to the older couplers of the 831s, 830s, and when the 900s came out, it just threw me off.
Got a whole bag of KDs. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 907s are the.
Yeah,
that's not assembled. You can't see it. They're basically just a pivot. They don't have the.
Okay.
So they're the same as the 831 truck mounts.
I don't think they are. Oh, they are. Okay, so that makes
sense. Yeah, the straight shaft. They don't have the offset shaft.
Yeah, the 831. The KD makes a center set, which is the 907. There's the medium offset, which is the 908, and then 909 is the truck mount that have the real. Oh, actually, that's what's on this guy. Those are 907s. You can see the knuckles got a real high offset.
Yeah.
I'm slowly going to all body mounts. These work great, except for when you're going down a grade and try to change your consist on your radio control. And 3 of the 4 engines don't respond, and then everything jackknifes. Fun times at Charlie Zimmerman's house.
We got 8:46. Do you want to do your other giveaway?
Yeah, we can do that. Or at least I can mention so we can start collecting.
Yeah, let's
some
get
stuff
that
for
going.
it. So, give me 1 second here. Got to find my page again.
Nick said he believes the 907 was the 787.
787. Okay.
Yeah. I got turned on to those recently, and I've actually started using them a lot more.
Okay.
Because of it has a smaller box than the 906.
Which one?
The 906, the first one that Andrew held up with the large swing
the
action.
Uh-huh.
I thought I had one laying here.
So when you have a tight space, the 907 fits right in there very nicely.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have the 9 series stuff in stock. So
Yeah.
Well, you did that. You can look at
I'm making. I hear some crinkling. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. It's not me with the wrong microphone this time. I need to sort of test the sharp. I guess those will work for demonstration purposes. Let's see here. So on the, because depends the way you're looking at it, the round box is the 906, and then this is a truck mount, but it's the same box that the 907, 908, and 909 use. And with the 906, you have that slack action, which Kyle really, really likes. And the other series, as you can see, there's no slack action. They're just a pivot. But one thing you will get with these is you actually do get a lot wider range of motion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you will run into issues with your wheels interfering with the boxes, but you can do trimming on the box to clear the wheels.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yep. Somebody was asking there.
I was asking because just certain numbers sell more than others. And you always wonder why and what's out there. What are people doing? You tend to see trends,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So what I was going to do for our other giveaway is I am going to give away a $25 gift card to the merch store for our show. If you go to largescaletrains.com and you click on merch at the top, that'll bring you to our page. There's numerous things in there. Something to note is 2 days still, there is 15% off everything in the store that you can use that on, but we have numerous things in there. We have ball caps, we have stocking hats, we got different t-shirts in varying colors. We've got hoodies. There's tote bags, coffee cups, mugs, travel mugs, pins, stickers, mouse pads. Well, there's all kinds.
Was that a G-string?
No, that's a fanny pack.
I thought that was the MrPictovid large scale.
Nobody needs that. Not at all. And there are a couple different designs on there. You'll see that there's some stuff that has the Malay on it. That's the shirt I'm wearing now. So the giveaway that we'll do is I'll do a $25 gift card that you can use for anything that's in that merch store. Just give me a moment here to set that up, and we can start collecting for that. Let's see. Sorry, it just takes
what are you
me
going to hashtag?
Well, I have to reset the giveaway tool, because if not, it's just going to draw off the last batch of people and not take anybody new.
Oh, no, we want new people.
Well, I want everybody to be able to get into it. I don't want to, because I almost did that one time. I went to start collecting, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not collecting anything. And we'll just do, let's see.
Were we able to answer most of the questions about the show or any issues?
Yeah, I don't see any other questions. If anybody has any other questions, last minute questions, we got like 9 minutes left on the show. Please feel free to ask. And we'll also, as Andrew's trying to get the giveaway going, I always so I do a thing. I've been buying all the old aristo-craft catalogs. I've been searching for them, and it's really interesting just going through and looking at some of the stuff they were proposed to make,
right,
and never did, or things that that they tried to make or never did. So it's like this engine here.
Oh, yeah.
They were going to make like that's I guess the precursor to the center cab.
Right.
And it's funny, my son has that engine. That's the prototype.
Neat.
That is live for anybody that would like to enter for the merch. It's just hashtag LSL for large scale live.
Is that what that stands for?
I think so. You got to think about these things sometimes, just like when you're buying a domain name or something. You got to be careful. Like you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good, until someone says, you realize what that could also mean. Let's see here. Did you want? You sent that to. I know I had it listed in the stuff to show, Nico. Did you want me to go ahead and do the thing for the repairing the USA sliders while we're collecting
Was that
entries for that? What are we looking
Did
at?
they
there?
not make that? Because I thought that looks so familiar.
That's the Searchlight car. We don't want to see you, Andrew. That's the Searchlight car, but it's got the clearance things on it.
Right.
I thought that was interesting that they had that in the catalog. And
I like Bill Lynch's entry, although it doesn't enter him for anything. Hashtag Nico got robbed.
and then that they were going to make us an ore dump car too.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see stuff that they were planning and never came to fruition for whatever reason.
Right.
So if anybody has any old Aristocraft catalogs, I'm looking for them.
So I think it was only like a 3 or 4 minute video, Nico. Do you want me to do the slider repair for the USA trucks while we're collecting for the giveaway?
Sure, that's fine.
So I know there were some people that wanted to see that last show, and we didn't get to it right away.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out what year catalog this is too. Somebody just asked.
What year catalog?
It should have been on the front or in the back corner then.
That's what I'm looking for here.
Let's see here.
It's $3.
Let me see the front of it again. That's probably one of the early ones. Because I think that's almost like one of the pictures that were on the metal plates that they did. Remember that?
Yeah.
They took some of the catalog pictures and put them on the metal plates, if I remember right.
Well, this
So
says 91.
Yeah, I figured it's early days.
Ooh, Nico did some fancy editing on this one.
I'm learning.
And just as a heads up, let me pause that a second.
Here we are.
When this is playing, unless any of us mute ourselves, we're still live, just so none of us have any awkward conversations. I don't want to have to deal with that. So
on the workbench of 4-track RR again, making another video for large scale live. This time we're going to cover repairing the little slider here on USA Trains. Let's get in here. You can see there is a small plastic protrusion off of that. This cover that stops the slider from popping out. As you can see on this side, it's broken off. So we're going to go and show you how to fix this. So the first thing we're going to do is take out the 6 screws here and remove this cover. So let me do that really quick. Okay, now that we remove the screws, we can gently remove the cover. And you can see here that the cover and that little nub is broken off right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill a small hole in there and we're going to put in a small bar. So this cover here measures about 0.154 of an inch. I'm going to use a let's see here, a 1/16 inch piece of brass rod, and we're going to drill a small hole in there and put the brass rod in, and that's going to act as the stop. So this rod actually measures about 0.056, and we're going to drill a hole slightly smaller to hold the rod in place. So let me get that set up, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, here you can see I've drilled my 0.045 inch hole into the cover. And you can see it protrudes out the back side. And next I'm going to put the brass rod in, and I'm going to also measure to see how much this one sticks out, and we're going to match that on the other side. So here you can see I have the brass rod pressed in. I'm also going to flip it over and put a dab of CA cement just to help hold it in on the other side, and it's protruding about the same amount, which I'll just double check before I glue it, and then we'll be ready to reassemble. Okay, so I've added a little more CA glue on there just to hold it, make sure it stays in place, and now it is glued in and it's not going to go anywhere. So now we could reassemble the cover onto the truck with the new spring. So we'll do that next. So now you can see with the cover back on, it's stopping the slider from popping out. And I've done this repair quite a few times, and I've never had an issue, whereas I've replaced the cover and had it break again. So this seems to work really well because that little piece of brass is stronger than plastic that is inside here because of the way it's designed. So there you go. I can put the screws back in and this will be all done, but unfortunately this engine has split gears, so I'm going to have to do that repair also. Thanks for watching. 4TrackRR.store, Large Scale Live.
And you actually did the gear repair on, is it the last live stream that we did? Or is it the one before that?
I believe it was two before, yeah. Two shows ago.
I should probably break those out into a separate video for people to make it easier for them to find later on.
Okay.
So let's see here. Where are we at with our giveaway?
So we actually had a couple other questions here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Berger asked, will the show space have Wi-Fi?
I don't think you did last year.
No, but if you need Wi-Fi, we can give you the password from the store. It won't reach over there, but if you need something, you can come to the store and grab that Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I know my cellular was pretty good in there last year.
Yeah, I never have any issues with cellular.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems either, and I was selling stuff with credit cards and things like that. So, what was? I thought there was another. Oh, you already answered the question about the video being on YouTube. I think that was it.
All right. So anybody that has their last minute hashtag LSL to enter the giveaway, I'll give you another 15, 20 seconds here to put that in, and then we'll do the giveaway on that. Thank you, Wigwag. I thought the live stream we did from there came out well. And actually, that got a lot of views because that actually that streamed to my channel and Sean's channel at the same time when we did it last year. It's not too often that I do.
Were you with two phones, or one phone was streaming to both places?
One phone to both. Same platform we're using to do the show, which is StreamYard.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's how it's able to go to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Let's see.
You got another thank you. Thank you to Star Hobby. I bought most of my Bachman large scale from them. Great service and people.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. Thank you.
Nice video. Another thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for having us, and for you guys, thank you.
Yeah, well, we're trying to do our best and trying to bring out as much as we can. Get as many guests on the show and anybody that wants to be on, and hopefully help promote things.
Yeah, definitely.
And also doing the tips and tricks.
No, that was nice. I've never seen the video before. That was nice. I like that.
I do a lot of repairs, so I got to figure out ways to fix things.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some stuff that breaks that it really puzzles your mind how to fix it.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing here. It looks like everybody's gotten their entries in. We'll see who's going to get the $25 gift certificate for the merch store. Make sure we don't see Nico in there again. Probably got some alias. Peter Richards is our winner. Peter, if you would like to shoot me an email, just send to info@largescaletrains.com. Just give me your really all I need is your info to send the gift card over to you. I don't really need your mailing address. I think I can send that digitally, but just shoot me your info over and I'll get that off to you.
So we have another question for Don. Do you have trains?
I actually have. I do have some. Yes. When I got out of the Army, I was going back to school and I was working with Mom and Dad, and I got involved with USA Trains, mostly with their beer card series. Well, after a while, they got really bad, so I had to stop. Back then, he didn't have a lot, so then all of a sudden it just blew up. If anybody ever started a series with Charlie, with USA Trains, they know, right? So I do have some, little of this and that, a little bit of mostly G gauge, some LGB Christmas cars over the years. Excuse me. And then I have one original Bachmann Shays that came out in the 90s. I think my sound system battery is still in there. So, and the original truck. So yes, I'm one of the bad guys who did not get the free upgrade at that time. So yeah, it's down in the basement. And then sometimes my wife would work with us, and and she would talk to Dad and say, hey, instead of paying me, I'll take a no gauge train Lionel car or something. And so we got a couple Lionel pieces, not many. She has the Napa Valley K-line set probably from the 90s. A little bit of trains. I'm in the store 6-7 days a week. So it's one of those things, when I get home, I'd love to have a layout. I don't have a layout, but I do have a couple trains been up in. Yeah.
I know I have your -9, so.
Right.
Wait, what?
I bought his -9 2 years ago.
Okay.
Runs beautiful.
I know we're at 9:05 here, Nico, but there were a couple things I wanted to at least make sure I showed because I had mentioned them before or put them in the description of the show.
Okay.
One was, and I'm probably going to say Brian's last name wrong, and I apologize, Brian. I look at your last name, and it looks like it should be pronounced Brun to me for some reason. Apologies if that's wrong. I hate butchering names. But I've been talking with Brian the past couple of days, and I have one of the AML GP60s, and he's actually got several that he ordered that haven't come in yet. But one of the things we were talking about, let me share my screen here. Let's see.
You guys carry AML?
ECLSTS, yeah.
Yeah. Haven't recently, but yeah, we've been buying from them since a long time ago, and we haven't really that many people asking for it lately. So
this is the roof of the GP60, and this is the AC unit that's on the roof. And we were talking about 3D printing a more detailed replacement for it. So Brian actually drew something up, and since he didn't have one to test it on yet, he sent me the file to print it out. And what we ended up with, and I apologize it's not painted yet, is this AC unit. And this actually sits over top of the stock one. It's actually hollow underneath. It sits right over top of it to cover it. And it just kind of gives you a little bit more detailed look for the AC unit on the roof. I got a picture here. You can see this is what it looks like when it first comes out of the 3D printer for the resin. And I believe Brian is going to possibly sell these. I know I sent my info back to him. I don't know if it's something he's selling right at the second or if he's still working a few bugs out on it. If you're on Facebook and you know Brian, you can reach out to him about it. If it's something you're interested in and you don't know how to get a hold of Brian on Facebook, you can always shoot me an email, info@largescaletrains.com, and I can pass your info off to Brian. But I just thought it was, I'm getting more and more into the 3D printing stuff, and I just think it's neat that we can do stuff like this to kind of add a little bit of something extra to stuff. And the other thing I wanted to show having to do with 3D printing, I got to find my link here, is I always like to highlight. Oh, okay. I see you found Brian there.
Yep.
And am I saying your last name wrong, Brian? If I am, I apologize. Let's see. And then the other thing I wanted to show is Dan Gilchrist, or as many know him, Manimal, is always making something new to 3D print. So he actually drew up a whale belly hopper car in 1/29th scale. And over on Printables, you can actually download all the files to print this car. If you have a 3D printer at home, I want to say the main body itself, when I set it up on my printer, just looking at Brian's answer there. When I looked at my printer to print the main body, I think that was going to be about a day and a half of printing. And I wasn't going to start it right now because then that printer would have been running and it's already warm in this room. And I really didn't want to be sitting in a sauna. But if you'd like to find this file, I actually have it linked. If you want to search Manimal on Printables, you can. But if you go over to the Large Scale Trains website, and you'll see a section for resources and links, 3D printing. I've been trying to link to various different tools, cars, parts, and stuff that you can print. You'll see right at the top of the page, I have a link to go to that whale belly hopper. And for anyone that hasn't been there before, just a quick kind of scroll down. I mean, there's tank cars, there's replacement truck parts, center beam flat cars, stuff for pulling wheels, coupler mounts. I think that's a track gauge. There's a wheel gauge that Nico drew up that you can download and print as well. There's lots and lots of stuff on there. Not everything you can find out in the world because I don't have time to collect everything and put it on there. But I've seen a few people actually print that car already, and it's a very, very nice looking car. And I always thank Dan because I don't think he sleeps, but he draws the stuff up in his spare time when he doesn't sleep, I think, and then uploads it, and you can download it for free and print it for your personal use.
That's cool.
And I was trying to think if there was anything else I needed to share real quick. The only other thing I think I had, I'm looking at my list here, is on the GP60s. I know. I think it's sometime this week that some of those might actually be getting delivered to stores to actually start being shipped out. I believe
electronics.
With the electronics, yeah. I know Robbie at RLD was getting some, and I believe Reindeer Pass was. That wasn't something you were carrying right now, correct, Don?
No.
I just wanted to make sure before someone started calling you.
Yeah, no, thank you. No. Yeah, no.
But I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because people keep asking about that. Yes, GP60s for real.
It was between those and the Dash 9s. They were like, who's coming in first?
Right.
And that's the thing that, it's been a while. We've been waiting on both of those, and it's just the way it works that the stuff's going to show up about the same time as each other, especially when, you have some of each pre-ordered.
Right.
Please take my money. I don't need it.
Lyndon Foster says you need to add the Dash 9s to your website.
I have them on the website.
Okay. They're already there, Lyndon.
Yeah,
See how quick
No, they're there.
you ask and Star responds.
Yeah, just put a G gauge and then Bachmann diesel engines, and it's there.
Here, I'll pull it up real quick there. You said go to model trains.
Yep, model trains, and then
G.
Yep.
You said
Bachmann.
You're not showing it, Andrew, if you're trying to show it.
I stopped sharing it, didn't I?
That's what you did.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, so then diesel, it's the one without a picture.
That's probably why they're missing it. They're looking at the pictures and skimming past it. Yep, there you go. All to your heart's content. Just remember, Don's got 3 tractor trailers of these, right?
That's right.
So yeah, they are up on the site, and I'm happy to see them.
Yeah. I think when the website was done, we didn't have a picture for the diesels, so we probably have to create something. And again, it's tweaking the websites constantly. So as you guys probably know,
that's already the issue. No picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing myself in my day-to-day life, and it's like, you're used to looking pictures, and you're like, I can't find this, and it's like, well, no, it's there, it just didn't have a picture. But until this, I know Bachmann did was it like a side rod 44 ton or something? I think they did a while back, but they really didn't have too many diesels in large scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
we'll definitely
hopefully next year we'll have a GP40.
Yes, definitely. That'd be nice. Yeah.
That is a really nice engine too. That's good for people that don't have a huge layout and want to run something diesel. That's a beautiful engine for that.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're now 15 minutes past our 9 o'clock. I'm sure you guys would like to call it an evening.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for having us, and everybody else who was on. Thank you for sharing with us and being part of it. It was very nice. We like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you guys could hang around for just a moment after we drop off so we could talk to you for a minute.
Okay.
Our next live stream, Nico?
That is February.
We're in February.
We're in February.
March 26th, right?
Yes.
And we're going to have who?
Ray Buteau, and I always mess up his last name.
Yeah, I'm probably going to as well. John Sacudo will be our guest along with Ray.
Yes.
And we'll go deeper into the Bachmann Dash 9s on the next show.
Yep.
It shouldn't take me as long to run that as my last engine, because that'll pretty much be I take a few screws out and plug a board in.
I don't want to take mine apart, so I don't know about you. Mine's going to be in pieces.
So no warranty on yours then?
None of my stuff has a warranty. I cut everything up anyway.
All right. Well, all right. We thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and we'll see everybody again here the end of next month.
Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.